Houston, we have a problem.
I have a really bad feeling about this.
A boy's best friend is his mother.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Nobody puts baby in a corner.
Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads. Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Silent Green is people!
Yo, Adrian! I did it!
Let's put a smile on that face.
I gotta warn you, Clark. They don't play the same games here as they do at them regular casinos.
Royale, too.
Welcome to Casino Royale with Cheese, episode number 2. This is the show where we discuss movies that were number 1 at the box office exactly 20 years ago. And my name is Shane. With me today I have my esteemed colleague and part-time friend, the man who not even Hannibal Lecter would want his liver, Mike.
What's up, Shane?
What's going on, buddy? How you doing?
Dude, we recorded our first episode last week, and I'm not a big fan of listening to myself, but listening to it back, like, we're actually doing this, and it's really fun and exciting, so I'm pumped.
Oh yeah. There's I'm kind of wondering at what point it's gonna get to be like a chore, but so far I'm having a good time. So
right.
Just ride the wave, man.
As long as we're having fun.
Yep. We had to kind of change things up this week because Titanic was a monster at the box office.
15 weeks in a row.
15 friggin' weeks in a row. And so me and Mike, basically, whenever we were setting up this show, decided that instead of obviously talking about the same movie for 15 weeks, what we're gonna do is try to stay along the same guideline as a number 1 at the movie theater, but obviously we're gonna pick a different movie.
Wait.
Yes.
We're not going to talk about Titanic again?
I mean, we can. What did you write in your notes?
I watched Titanic again last night. It was number 1 this week 20 years ago.
I still have my notes from last week.
Oh, man.
Well, you screwed up, Mike. No, actually, no, that's not what happened at all. What did you watch this week, Mike?
Well, last week you said we were going to watch Silence of the Lambs.
Yes, absolutely. And that is what we both watched, actually, around the same time last night.
Yeah, absolutely.
So a little backstory to this. I went down kind of a rabbit hole yesterday, actually, because I was looking at the very start of the movie. You see where the Orion Pictures logo lights up right before the movie starts.
Oh yeah.
Anybody that grew up in the 80s or the early to mid 90s saw Orion Pictures logos all the time.
Like almost every movie.
Yeah, it seemed like it, yeah. And it was one, because I didn't watch like a whole lot of R-rated stuff at that age. I wasn't old enough to. But whenever I did watch an Orion movie, I mean, I knew going in that it was going to be a good time, because they are the company that put out The Terminator, they did RoboCop, and they even used the Terminator theme for the RoboCop preview, like the trailer for it. They did a whole bunch of stuff. They did the Silence of the Lambs, obviously. They did Dances with Wolves, and I mean, a ton of movies. They did Amadeus. They had a bunch of like Oscar-winning movies that came out around that time. And I thought, whatever happened to Orion? Have you noticed that at all?
Well, no, I didn't dig into it as deep as you just went.
Right.
But I do recall, like last night when I put the movie on and that Orion logo came up, like I got a weird kind of like feeling.
It's nostalgia.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. This movie came out February 14th, 1991, and if it gives you an idea, so Dances with Wolves won the Oscar for Best Picture in 1991, and then this won Best Picture in 1992. And if this tells you anything about Orion, this was when it came out, it was the number 1 movie at the box office. And Dances with Wolves was still at number 5. It was still top 10 at the box office at this time, which is crazy to think about.
So it won, wow, okay.
Yeah, and so there was a pretty decent divide in there, and Dances with Wolves was still in the top 10 movies out at that time, which is crazy to think about. This movie was number 1 at the box office for 5 weeks, and it did a pretty good amount of money, I guess. It brought in, I think they said $400 million.
I said it's good.
Yeah, so back then movies were made for a lot cheaper too. We're talking, $20 million movies back then. So the returns on it were quite a bit more than what you see nowadays, unless you're talking like $1 billion Avenger movie or something like that. So, but no, just looking at it, I guess the guys that started Orion Pictures, they went through and just like they had been around the movie industry forever. They'd been producers for longer than probably me and Mike have been alive. And so what ended up happening was that they just started cranking out these movies. They'd make like 8 or 10 movies a year. And for every one that was a RoboCop or a Terminator, there would be one that was Caddyshack 2, And so they were just like, it was pretty much a numbers game at that point, and the numbers did not pan out in their favor at all. MGM actually has brought Orion back in recent years, like back in 2013, but MGM's pretty much belly up at this point. So they're just making like independent movies and like small type of artsy films pretty much. So
I never knew so much about Orion Pictures.
I didn't either. Yeah, I watched like a 2-hour video on it last night actually.
God.
So, after I watched this movie. So
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, Mike, have you seen this movie before?
I have.
Yes.
I have. I remember watching this movie for the first time probably upon its VHS release. I'm pretty sure I watched it with my parents. I'm almost certain I was 13, 14 at the very latest.
Yeah.
And so as we get into this, think about this as, I was a 13-year-old boy.
It made an impact, I'm sure.
It did.
Yeah. I think I know that I saw this originally. It was a TV edit, so I didn't have the same experience that you did. It was on like network TV. It was on at like midnight one night, and I had my dad set the VCR to record it, and so I watched it. I must have been like 8 or 10, and of course at the time I was watching it, I was like, I don't know what everybody's talking about. Like, this movie isn't that graphic or anything.
Right.
Like, little did I know, all the stuff I was missing out on. So anyway, you ready to talk about this thing?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right, brother. What set the scene for us?
Well, opening scene, Quantico, Virginia.
Yes.
Okay. For those who don't know, it's the FBI Academy.
Yep.
If you don't know that, you only got to wait about 30 seconds, and you'll see Clarice with it on her sweatshirt. It says FBI Academy on it. So we know that we are at the real deal Holyfield, Quantico, Virginia.
Yep.
FBI Training Center. We see a young, petite woman.
Yep.
Getting it on. She's
Absolutely.
out there running.
She's busting it. She's got sweat everywhere.
Soaking wet. Hitting the hills, climbing ropes.
I thought it was funny. I was like, if you don't want to sweat so much, maybe you shouldn't run in a turtleneck.
Yeah, she's wearing a turtleneck.
Yeah, with a sweatshirt on top of it.
What is going
I
on?
don't get it, dude.
Fashion since
I
1991.
guess so. The 80s were still trying to stay relevant at that point.
Yeah, but I really feel like the opening scene is to establish the fact that she's not your ordinary small, petite, fragile woman.
She's busting her ass.
Yeah, and in 91, there wasn't that many powerful, female heroes yet.
No.
So, I think they were really showing us that she's different than what you're used to seeing on the silver screen.
Yeah, it had just become kind of acceptable. I wouldn't say acceptable, but more common at least to have women in a powerful,
lead role.
Protagonistic, type of role.
Yeah, and then if you don't get that understanding, another thing they're trying to show us too, throughout this opening scene as she enters the academy because she's beckoned by her boss, is that when she steps in the elevator to head up to the big boss's office, she's surrounded by nothing but men who are all head and shoulders above her.
Big old sausage fest in that elevator.
Yeah, and they all kind of just look at her.
Right.
So as
What's this mouse doing in here? Yeah.
Yeah. So as the elevator door closes, we get a real sense that she is different than most.
Which is funny because when the elevator doors close, she doesn't even look that intimidated. She's
She's
guys,
used to it.
yeah, it is what it is. I'm here to do a job,
Yeah.
And I did think it was funny too because when the elevator doors open, she's the only one left in there, and I was like, well, it's probably because you stink because you were running in a turtleneck.
I thought, where'd they all go?
I'm assuming she's at the top floor. And
They
all
live
got off
somewhere in
along
the
way.
middle.
Yeah, absolutely.
And another thing I noticed in that opening scene too is how come she's out exercising? Everybody else at the academy seems to be in the shooting range.
Yeah.
So why is she so special? She gets to go do PT on her own.
Right. If I'm in the FBI, I would think I mean, both are going to be important, but you would think the shooting is going to be a little bit more of a priority than like climbing up a rope.
But like even her classmates are like in there.
Yeah.
You know, like the other young lady that's in the academy.
The little black girl?
Yeah, she appears to be the only other one in there.
Right.
You know, they like high fives as Clarice comes in.
Yeah,
so,
walking down a hall and all.
Yeah, so I thought that was a little odd that she was out doing her own thing while everybody else was inside training.
I guess she's missed the schedule, man. Like, she didn't get the memo on what was going on.
I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, she goes in to see the guy. His name's Jack Crawford. He's some kind of director. I don't think he's like the FBI director.
I think he's like the head of like that academy.
The academy.
Yeah.
I wondered that too, but then whenever we get toward the climax of the movie, you see him actually go out into the field whenever they think they got the bad guy.
Well, he's the head of, because he even mentions it like when they first meet. He's the head of like the psychological behavior department.
Yeah, or I have it written down actually. It's what is it? Behavioral sciences.
Yeah, so that's kind of his field. So it makes sense that, you know, he's involved in this whole case.
Right.
You know, as she enters the office, the first thing we see is a bunch of terrible photos.
Yes.
With right in the middle of it is a piece of like a headline from a newspaper. It says Bill Skins Fifth.
Yes, bunch of nasty stuff, and you see people that they have like their love handles are all just hacked up, just mutilated bodies pretty much.
Straps
every
of
photo.
skin cut from the backs, arms are skinned. I mean, just a bunch of really nasty photos.
Stuff. Yeah. And so that's where we first get our inkling of Buffalo Bill, and he's kind of the main antagonist of the movie, but kind of not. It's there's a weird paradigm there.
Yeah, paradigm's a good word for it.
Yeah. Anyway, Jack Crawford tells her that he has an assignment for her. He's only asking her because she's the head of her class and he thinks that she can handle it. It's kind of a bullshit assignment, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's the impression that I get from it starting out.
The way he describes it to her, I mean, basically he says, I want you to go interview.
You're not going to get anything out of this.
Yeah.
But we have to say that we did it.
Yeah, and that's when we find out that she's going to go talk to Hannibal, the cannibal Lecter.
Yes.
So, and he basically says, like, you're not going to get crap out of this, you know, but we have to say we tried.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
And when you go to the interview with him, be careful.
Right.
Don't let him get up in that head.
Right. He says, don't give him any personal information. You don't want Hannibal Lecter in your head. And so he's extremely manipulative. He knows exactly, like, he can sum you up in like 5 seconds and then basically get into your head really easily, you know.
Right.
It's not difficult at all. So what happens after that?
She goes straight to Baltimore
Yes,
to
sir.
the some type of insane asylum / prison, and we immediately meet D-bag alert, Dr. Chilton.
Dr. Chilton is a douche nozzle.
He knows her for 10 seconds and starts hitting on her.
Yeah, he starts hitting on her, which is a funny theme because they've got like this whole like boys club type of mentality. A lot of the leadership in this movie does. And so it seemed to me when I was watching it anyway that she's getting hit on like constantly.
Every male she meets
Yeah.
either stares at her awkwardly or hits on her.
Right. They either say that they want to, you know, they're trying to get her to go out with them, or they're just commenting on how attractive she is, or any number of different things, you know. So.
Or there's a bunch of times throughout the film where she's just getting stared at
Yeah, absolutely.
for being the one woman in the
one
boys
woman.
club.
And I'm sure she's easier on the eyes than some 60-year-old FBI agent.
I mean, Jodie Foster is a quite attractive young lady.
Absolutely.
You know, Jodie Foster, like why I bring it up, she's a fantastic actress.
Yeah.
Before we get too deep into this movie, Hannibal Lecter, Anthony Hopkins.
Oh, he kills this movie.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're talking about Jodie Foster, Anthony Hopkins. I'm sure that was a big part of why this movie was so successful.
Right.
You know, just upon release.
They both got their own Oscars for the movie.
Well, and here's what's interesting to me, and yeah, I was a 13-year-old boy, but I didn't know who Jodie Foster was or who Anthony Hopkins was before this movie. I come to find out Anthony Hopkins was a pretty well-established actor.
Right.
And Jodie Foster had been around since forever, but she starred in the movie Nell.
Yeah, I saw Nell. I wasn't too impressed.
It was a little different.
Yeah. She's done some later. I saw Panic Room. I thought that was all right.
Yeah.
Once again, it's not a big stretch for her acting chops, I didn't feel like.
But they both kill it in this film.
Yeah, yes.
100%. For me, they did an amazing job.
Right. we get to meet Hannibal. Now, let me ask you this, Mike, because...
Well, there was a whole list of rules before we got to meet him.
Right, yeah. He says, don't slip her any pieces of paper, or slip him any pieces of paper. He said, don't bring any ink pens.
Nothing.
Yeah, don't bring anything with you. Don't tell him too much. Don't get too close to the glass,
Right.
you know, stuff like that. And then he goes into this whole diatribe about what happened to this nurse that apparently he had feigned like a heart attack or something along those lines.
Right.
He talked about chest pain, and they took him to the infirmary, and he just destroyed this nurse, like bit her tongue off and all this crazy stuff.
Mm-hmm. They were able to save one eye.
Right, yeah, and they said talk about how his pulse never got over 85, you know.
And he shows Clarice the photo of the nurse, but we don't get to see it.
No, we don't, and the look on her face, once again, Jodie Foster acting,
Right.
like you could just see it on her face, like I don't think I want to go down there. You know?
It had to be something terrible.
Right.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, Mike, because Silence of the Lambs. First off, I always call it Silence of the Lambs. I never call it The Silence of the Lambs.
Right.
I was watching the credits. I was like, oh, The Silence. Okay, got you. You know.
Yeah, IMDb is The Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure I knew that, but I never call it that. Anyway, this was not the first movie that was based on this character or any of that stuff. Were you aware of that?
Well, I know there's sequels, and I know there's
Yeah.
a prequel,
There is.
but I didn't know that someone else had attempted to make a film about the same character.
Yeah, there's this guy, his name's Dino De Laurentiis, and he produced a bunch of movies that were real crap back in the 80s. I think he had some hits, but they were never like Ghostbusters or Batman or like Indiana Jones hits or anything like that. But he did like the Flash Gordon movie. He did, what was some of the other stuff that this guy cranked out? He did just, the Masters of the Universe was one of them. He did the movie Dune and like all these older movies that are
So a bunch of crap.
pretty much cheesy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of like Dune for my own reasons, but I don't think it's a good movie.
Well, and I love Flash Gordon.
There you go, yeah.
But it's not a good movie.
No, it's not. But he did a movie that was called Manhunter, and it was based on the book Red Dragon, which they later redid, in which Brian Cox actually plays the Hannibal Lecter character, and it was a completely different take on the character because he acted like this, almost like an old drunk basically, and the prison didn't look like this cellar and like castle or anything. It looked like a straight up just cell, you know, and they actually called the movie Manhunter because like all this karate movies and stuff had dragon in the title back then, and they didn't want people thinking it was a karate movie. And so anyway, apparently they were like, well, do you want to make Silence of the Lambs? And he passed on the deal, and it made tons of money at the box office.
Well, there will never be another Hannibal Lecter besides Anthony Hopkins.
I agree. I think that's why Hannibal Rising failed, like miserably.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that other movie can just fuck right off.
Right? But no, so this is like the one series where each installment, so we've got a sequel, we've got a prequel, we've got a remake, we've got another prequel. It's out of control, man.
Right.
But yeah. Anyway, I thought that the progression when they get down to the cell block where Hannibal Lecter is at was interesting. Because the first guy that she walks past, he's like, hey, and then the second guy is just like stares blank off into the distance, like doesn't even acknowledge she's there. And then the third guy tells her that he can smell her cunt.
We find out just a few minutes later his name is Multiple Miggs.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then, so by that point, basically each one is getting progressively more insane, each person she walks by.
Yeah, I call it the row of crazies.
Mm-hmm. And so by that point, whenever, like, you know, we haven't seen Hannibal yet for the couple of seconds before she gets to his cell, we're kind of like, oh my God, what is in store for what kind of crazy person are we going to see, you know? Yeah, and he's just this British dude. He's just chilling in his cell, and he's got this painting, like the pictures on his walls. You know?
But the director, Jonathan Demme,
Yes.
this is when I noticed the movie, like, okay, so they set us up, it's obviously like a really crazy place.
Right.
It's really kind of like castle meets prison, meets insane asylum.
Looks like some old medieval thing or something.
Yeah, like it looks like they could be torturing people there.
Yeah.
You know, you don't really think, but this is when I noticed, like, director killing it, because Anthony Hopkins is just standing there. First of all, he looks amazing. He's in fantastic shape for this film. And the way they just have him standing there so proper.
Right.
Standing perfectly straight.
Right.
Real pleasant look on his face.
Mm-hmm. His body's not even like framed so that it's aiming outside the cell. I just kind of watch it and I'm like, I wonder what he was doing right before she walked in. You know, like,
It's almost like he heard Mick say something.
right.
My visitor's here.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, I really like that shot. I really like it a lot.
I agree. I don't think that the whole like set design was all that realistic. As far as like there being like this big brick basement, you know, with all this crap. But it was pretty effective though, just the look of the place.
Set the tone.
So, yeah. Oh yeah, she meets the guy that's the guard there, Barney. He's the one that tells her that he set the chair out. He's actually was in like all of these movies: Red Dragon, Silence of the Lambs, Hannibal, Manhunter, like all this stuff.
Is he Barney in all of them?
He is, except Manhunter. He's not.
Oh, okay.
So yeah. But yeah, so I thought that was kind of cool. He's like, you know, besides Anthony Hopkins, the one actor they carried over, you know, so.
So she meets Lecter.
Yep.
And he immediately asks for credentials.
Right. A little closer, yeah. And that's a power play.
Absolutely. He's manipulating her.
Right.
Trying to get her, just come a little closer.
Yeah. No, I need you. And she's like, I'm not supposed to get close.
Yeah, she just extends her arm.
Right. Closer, yeah. He's keeping it playful, but he's summing her up, you know, at the same time.
But it also serves a purpose because he immediately notices that her credentials expire in 1 week.
Mm-hmm. Kind of like a military ID, like, that's, you know, you'll get a new one when you get there, you know, sort of thing, yeah. And so, basically, he's insulted at that point. He's like, this is crap. This, the FBI director, Jack Crawford, he sent a kid to come and, like, basically talk to me. Yeah, this is ridiculous, you know.
Yeah, he's definitely insulted.
I'm better than this, you know.
Definitely insulted.
Right. And then she comments on his drawings, and she says, you know, how she likes his drawings, and she asks if it's all from memory, and he says it's all he has, so on and so forth. That's these paintings of like Venice, or these drawings of Venice and whatnot.
Real quick,
yes.
It also reminded me of the last movie. Jack and Lecter, they can both draw their asses off.
They can. At least Lecter's not drawing hairy armpits. Big old hairy bush, one-legged prostitute. But yeah. So she starts to like transition into this. He's like, that's his mind is the only view he has, and she's like, well, maybe you could give me your view on this Buffalo Bill, and he's like, no, don't try to transition all cheesy, like, you know.
And she was. You can really see like her rookie.
Right.
Like,
she's going by the book.
Knowing real experience to it, and she's trying to use this little. I don't even know how to describe it, but some type of manipulative behavior on a guy who's a master at it.
Right, yeah. He knows everybody that he meets, he can sum them up quick, you know.
And he does.
Yeah. Everybody that he encounters in this movie, he already knows what they're all about, you know.
And it's amazing.
Yeah.
He mentions that he asks what Mick said to her.
Yeah.
So he makes her say the word cunt.
Right.
Which he knows is going to put her off edge and make her uncomfortable, but she does it.
Right.
So earns his trust.
And she kind of hesitates, but she's like, I mean...
He knows what he said.
Right, yeah. And so then they
he
start...
says he can't smell it.
Oh, yeah.
I cannot.
Right, he's like, I, on the other hand, cannot.
But, you know, she
Talks
wears
about her
Avion's
hand cream,
hand cream, and then she sometimes wears this perfume, but she's not wearing it right now.
There's actually a couple things in regard to, like, his sense of smell that kind of made me uneasy at times. And I guess we'll get to it, but that, and then he's like, later on, he's like, and I don't know if it has anything really to do with smell, but he's like, I noticed the injury on your leg was stopped bleeding. And I was like, oh my gosh, there's this cannibal, like, just watching her bleed, you know? Like, this guy's wanting to make soup or something, you know? Like, but...
Did you notice that Lecter says ham-handed?
No, I didn't. Oh, that's pretty...
That's something
pretty
you'd like
clever.
to say.
Yeah. Well, I say ham-fisted, but yeah.
Oh, yeah, so he says ham-handed. I don't even remember what context it was, but as soon as he said ham-handed, I wrote down Shane.
Well, I think it kind of gives it another dimension, too, whenever you keep in mind that he eats people, and he's talking about this food item and also a body part in the same, you know, context,
I did not think about it that way.
Yeah,
but that is
so, yeah. I don't know if that was even intentional, but they start talking about Buffalo Bill, and then he talks about how that typically serial killers will keep a trophy from their kills, and then he's like, I didn't. And she said, no, you ate yours. Which I thought was a great line because she just retorts it right back to him. And you can actually see the look on it that he was not expecting her to say that to him, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
And is it soon after that he says, fava beans and a nice Chianti?
Yeah.
How famous is that line?
Oh, that's movie history. That's almost up there with I'm the King of the World.
I used to say, that's how you know you're getting old, because I'll say that. I don't say it as often as I used to, but like in my late 20s, it was something I would throw out there whenever someone was talking about wine.
Right.
I thought it'd be funny to say, you know, fava beans and a nice Chianti. And people just looked at me like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah. Have you ever had a fava bean, by the way?
No.
I don't even know what that is or what it tastes like.
I don't know what a fucking Chianti is. I assume it's a wine.
I would assume so. I would assume he's not sitting around drinking beer while he's like, you know.
If Chianti was a beer, I would know what it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so he's not drinking beer.
So he starts to analyze her some, and he talks about how, you know, she always dreamed of getting out of West Virginia, and he picks up on her accent right away. He's able to place, like, her general whereabouts where she's from.
Daddy of a coal miner.
Talks about how she, you know, would get some dude get his fingers wet in the back of the seat. Meanwhile, she's totally distracted, you know, thinking about what she could become and how she's going to get out of town, you know, and stuff like that. And later we find out that that's really not accurate at all.
Yeah, he was right. He was wrong.
Yeah, which is great. I love it. Because he doesn't know her at that point, you know. But yeah, then he talks about the census taker that came to his house and wanted to, like, because she asked him to fill out this personality
that's
test.
who he ate with the fava beans and the nice Chianti.
And he talks about a guy that came to his house, and he was like a census taker or whatever. And I guess he just, like, killed this dude.
And ate him.
Yeah, ate him. With some fava beans, whatever those are. He says he won't take the personality test. He thinks it's stupid.
Yeah, I mean, he knows he's more valuable than that. He
Right.
probably feels bothered by the fact that they're even asking him to fill out such a stupid-ass survey.
I'm sure he's still pissed off that they sent a trainee to go talk to him.
And give him a survey.
What does this chick even know? You know,
Yeah.
I'm better than this. You know, like, it's insulting.
For sure.
But then, so he tells her to piss off. She takes off down the hallway, and then
Oh, God.
Miggs
Oh, God.
throws a handful of cum at her.
Oh, God.
Who even has a handful of cum?
Oh, God.
Man, I would wash every inch of me ever.
Oh, God. Dude,
I would take a sandblaster to my skin.
bro, listen. I remember I was 13 when I
Yeah.
saw this.
Oh,
so
yeah.
that fucked with me a lot because that's like when masturbation's kind of enter in your life.
Yeah.
And so that just, it made no sense to me at all. My mom always she raised me to respect women.
Right.
So-
Not throw jizz at them.
Yeah, so that imprinted on me immediately. But now as an adult male, ladies out there who are listening, I'm really sorry. That was such a disturbing scene.
It was, man. I know, I don't want cum thrown on me.
And after seeing that, like facial porn, not even in my repertoire anymore. I'm not interested.
No, don't catch it with your mouth.
Oh, God.
Nope.
Dude, she walks outside and she's like still rubbing her face. I hope she stopped at the bathroom and washed off. They don't
I
show
wouldn't
that.
walk back through the prison with cum all over yourself.
I mean, and it was graphic.
Oh, yeah.
There was like no like him flinging a hand and you see her reaction. No, you see it hit
No,
her
it
face.
splats. Yeah, it was.
It's dangling from her
nasty,
hair.
bro. Like something about Mary style. Yeah, no, it was pretty awful, and it caught me. I had forgotten about that from the last time I watched it, because I must have watched it and not realized what it was, and then I was like, this time I was like, I think he just flung like jizz all over poor Clarice over here.
It's so clear.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah. Oh, God.
So anyway, she starts freaking out, understandably, and then Hannibal's like, hey, come back here, and he's yelling to her to come back, and he says, look deep within yourself, and he tells her to seek out Miss Moffat.
Right.
Yeah. So one thing I will say,
And Miggs is like screaming in the background.
yeah, you can't I had to rewind it because I couldn't understand what the hell he just said to her, because everything's going insane at that point.
Well, he's saying it in like a really excitable tone, and he's saying it really fast.
Right. Yeah. One thing I will say is whenever Jodie Foster gets cum all over her face, they actually she did a really good job, considering it was like that individual shot was like a non-verbal, like her trying to convey emotion. I thought that she did a really good job of looking like truly distraught at what had just occurred, you know? But
It was pretty disturbing.
absolutely.
So he tells her to look within herself. Like he said, look for Miss Moffat. We don't know who the fuck Miss Moffat is at this point.
No, sir.
And then they cut to her outside. She walks to her car. She's bawling,
Oh, yeah.
which is understandable.
And it messed with her the rest of the day, too.
Yeah. And she has a little flashback. We find out Dad's a cop.
Yes.
Maybe a little bit of motivation for her career choice.
We find out more motivation later, but yeah.
Yeah, and you see that like she's really tight with Pops.
Yeah.
You know, we only
She was
see them.
Daddy's girl.
Yeah, we only see them interact for a few moments, but you know, within those few moments, you can see that there's like some real love there.
Right.
And
it wasn't like it was, because there's a lot of affection and stuff. It wasn't like it was inappropriate touching
No,
or anything. Yeah,
he's a daddy
he
and his
wasn't
daughter.
Like a disgusting pervert. No, he's a good guy, you know, and she was the apple of his eye, obviously. You know,
for sure.
Yeah. So
Did she go right back to training that day?
yeah, she went back because it showed her. She was like entering that room or whatever, and then that guy's like,
You're dead.
hey, you gotta, yeah, he's like, you gotta check your corner. And of course I'm watching it, why did you check the corner? You know, like, but so yeah, and then later on Crawford calls her and he's like, I know you got shook up earlier today. And I was like, damn, all in one day?
That's what I was thinking. Like,
Go home, take a shower, dude.
until Crawford said that, I just assumed it was a day or
It
two
could have
later.
been months later for all I knew, you
Right,
know? Yeah.
That's crazy. So
Yeah.
you get nutted in your face, and the very next, or in a couple hours later, you're in the
All
training.
right, back to class, yeah.
Explains why you didn't check your corner. A little distracted.
I would be really distracted by that. I would not be going back to school.
At least 72 hours.
Dude. Dude, I'm gonna need more than 72 days of somebody nuts in my face.
Yeah.
What was it? She's doing some research on Hannibal. I wrote down. And then Jack does call her, and he tells her that Miggs, the jizz flinger, is dead.
Yeah, Crawford calls her up, says Mig swallowed his own tongue.
Right.
Because Hannibal spent all night long.
Yeah.
saying
There's some
something.
orderly like talking to him, or that heard him, Lecter, talking to Miggs, and they said that he was dead.
So he basically got someone to kill himself by
Right.
swallowing his own tongue.
Just talking to him.
So that shows you what kind of person we're dealing with.
Yeah, absolutely. She figures out that your self-storage is a little cheesy even for Lecter.
Well, to say looking yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
And so she figures out that there's this place called Your Self Storage in Baltimore, and it's actually rented out to this woman Hester Moffat.
Right.
And so she's like, oh, I'm gonna go check this out. It's the middle of the night. She didn't give a crap, you know.
Yep.
And so she heads up there that way, and in so doing, she can't get the door open. It's kind of funny because once again we have this boys club crap where she can't get the door open, and so the guy's like, well, I'll have my son come up here and do it tomorrow morning, you know, whatever. And she actually uses brain where her brawn was a little bit insufficient, which I kind of like. You know, she
I like
uses
it.
car jack to pump the door open, you know.
Yeah. Gets it open just enough to get underneath.
Yeah, which if it was me, it would not have opened. I could have squeezed under that fucking thing, but you gotta butter me up or something, you know. But, so anyway, she goes in there, she's looking around, there's just crap everywhere. There's like old pianos and like mannequins and old outfits. And she finds this hearse.
Well, it's covered with a giant American flag. And it seems like the only light source in the room is kind of like shining right on this American flag. I don't know if there was any significance meant in that. As being a military guy, like,
Right.
I noticed an American flag, and I'm just like, what? Why didn't he just use a regular tarp?
Right. And Hannibal doesn't do anything accidentally. So I'm sure that he put the American flag over there for some sort of significance.
Yeah,
you
but
know?
it escapes me. I don't know what it's
I
for.
don't know. Maybe just because it'd be easier to find if somebody came looking for it.
Yeah.
I mean, he's always like 3 steps ahead of everybody.
Absolutely.
You know,
Yeah.
she goes in there and she finds a bunch of old pictures and stuff like that, and then she pulls this little blanket that's on top of it. She can't tell what it is, and looks, and it's his head.
A really fucked up looking head.
Yeah, old, decayed looking head.
It's got like a 10 o'clock shadow.
Yeah.
It's past the 5 o'clock shadow,
Yeah.
but it's patchy hair and
Right. The skin's all pale and moldy and stuff like that.
disturbing. And the camera just zooms in right on and fills up the whole screen with this face. Could you imagine like being in a movie theater and your whole movie theater screen is just this
Sure.
dead head in
Yeah.
a jar?
keeping in mind she's a trainee once again. Tell you what, I'd be like, all right, I'm good without that FBI. I'll go where to call.
She didn't even like step back.
Yeah.
She just like looked forward with the flashlight. Like,
Hell
whoa.
yeah, I'll investigate this now. So she goes back to Lecter, and she figures out that this Hester Moffat is actually an anagram for the rest of me, and she that's when he comments, because she scraped up her leg on like a nail in this garage door, and that's when he comments like, "Oh, it looks like your bleeding stopped."
Yeah.
And I'm like, man.
And she almost broke and asked like, "How did you?" She almost asked him, "How do you know?" But
Yeah.
She realized that she's playing into his thing, so
Yeah.
she stopped.
Right.
But maybe that's the sense of smell thing you were talking about again. You can smell the blood.
You can smell the blood. I don't know, because I mean, you would think it'd also be visible. I mean, he's just behind a pane of glass, pretty much.
Yeah,
so.
and she didn't even see him at first, so.
Right. So then he says that is Mr. Ben Rasbell, an old patient of his, and he did not kill him, but he did find his body after Hannibal, like the guy had missed like 3 appointments because Hannibal Lecter was an old psychologist, and this was a patient, and he had missed like 3 appointments, and Hannibal went to go look for him and found his dead body and basically jarred it up.
Well, it found just his head.
Oh, well, it was just his head. Okay.
Yeah, he said he didn't eat him. Gotcha. And then she asks him if he was a transvestite. And that's when I was like, whoa, we're watching a movie that took place 20 years ago.
Right.
No one uses that term anymore. It's transgendered now.
Right.
And she, this is from an educated FBI trainee. Mm-hmm. So, she's not going to say anything politically incorrect in 1991. But transvestite was an acceptable word at the time.
Yeah.
So it was just kind of like, whoa.
Yeah.
It's strange to hear that word.
Which is, it's really kind of a sign of the times too, because I think that when the way that they kind of portray like transvestites or transgenders in this movie, they're kind of playing it off like, oh, look at this creepy tranny, and it's what I think it's obviously more acceptable nowadays, the transgender, that whole situation, gender reassignment and stuff like that.
Yeah, they talk about it later in the movie, but yeah, it's obvious. It's way.
In the movie, they're like, "Oh, look at this weirdo,"
It wasn't even a conversation in the political realm, 20 years or almost 30 years ago when this movie was made. So now, it's made a lot of progress.
I want to say in the mid '90s, I think that it was something that happened, but it wasn't common. Like gender reassignments and stuff.
Well,
like that.
he talks about it later. There was only 3 facilities doing those procedures.
Yeah, there you go.
In the whole country, so it shows you like what kind of progress it's made.
Right. So I guess they took all of his drawings of Venice and whatnot because he killed Miggs.
His punishment was taking away some drawings.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he's in prison already. What
else we can do to him? Spank him?
Right, exactly. Go to your room.
I'm not going in there with
now
you.
You have to lay down in the bed. Yeah.
No TV for you.
Right. Which I'm sure he would have been okay with because you find out they're like playing all these religious like TV shows and like just cranking the volume
to torture him. It would be torture.
Oh man, I get so tired of that. He does offer. He said he's not going to fill out her stupid psychological test, but he is going to offer a psychological profile to Clarice. Mm-hmm. And then we get to finally see Buffalo Bill.
He wants a room with a view.
Oh yeah, he makes a deal with her. He wants a room with a view where you can see like trees
or water
and shit. Yeah,
he's not too picky about the view.
He just wants to
doesn't
want to look at rocks.
Yeah, he wants to see outside.
Yeah, and then we see Buffalo Bill for the first time.
Well, actually, we're in Tennessee.
Yeah,
we see a young lady singing "American Girl."
Yeah.
By Tom Petty.
I forgot that was in there. I was like, yeah, all right.
R.I.P.
Rest
Tom
in
Petty.
peace, yeah. My boy.
Yeah, amazing. And I think it was so cool that they used that song "American Girl" because I think they're trying to show it to us that she's just an American girl.
Average kid. Yep. I agree. Was your first reaction like, obviously going in, you know that this guy, but let's pretend for a moment that you haven't seen this movie before. What would your take on this dude be, Buffalo Bill?
Like when I see him in the film?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, he uses night vision when it's not necessary.
True.
That seems
Had he used night vision?
That's how we get introduced to him.
Oh,
turns on those night vision goggles.
Oh, that's how he
and
sees
she's
her
like pulling up.
Got you.
But it's totally lit out there.
Yeah.
There's lights all over the place.
Yeah, that's a lit parking lot stuff.
You wouldn't be able to see shit with those night vision goggles on.
No.
But they power up.
No, that would be blinding you.
So that's the first thing I thought. But seriously, when we meet Buffalo Bill for the first time, he's portrayed by an actor, Ted Levine.
Ted Levine, yep.
And Buffalo Bill, like you said in the beginning, he's not really the main protagonist in this film.
Right.
He kind of is.
Kind of is.
But he kind of isn't. It's between him and Lecter, obviously.
Hannibal Lecter's kind of an anti-hero, I think.
Yes.
To a degree.
Yeah.
He's still awful.
But man, Ted Levine kills it, bro.
That
dude scares the shit out of me.
Right. And he's not even doing anything. He's like
clumsily carrying a chair.
Fumbling with this chair, yeah. And she's like, "You need some help with that?" Yeah, I'll help the guy with the broken arm and the rape van. This sounds like he's talking like 2 octaves too low, you know?
Oh God, his voice is so chilling.
Yeah.
And
I want nothing to do with this.
I told my wife was watching with me, and I was like, "You wouldn't help that dude, right?" She looked at me like I was fucking retarded, because of course she wouldn't help that dude.
I don't know how your wife's gonna pick up anything anyway. She's not like super built, you know.
No, she's not the furniture moving type. But
no, the guy with the broken arm's probably gonna get more done with that chair than your poor wife would.
And then the poor girl asks him like, "Do you need any help with that chair?" And he's like, "Oh, you're trying to ooh." And I forgive me for my impression, but
it was awful.
It's terrible. I'm terrible at impressions. You guys will find out throughout the course of the show. That's how I am. But then he says, "Get in there."
Right.
I want to get this all the way. She gets in the fucking van.
No, don't do that. I'd be like, "Yo, I'll carry your end. You get the fuck back there."
Or how about I think we can both push from this side.
Right. Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, you're about a size 14." Whap!
Yeah, dude, he beats the shit out of that girl with this cast hand. Yeah, and just beats the fuck out of her, bro.
You're about a size 14, huh? Boom!
Like 3 times he punches her with that thing, man. Just slaughters this girl. So they have a MO for this guy. Apparently, he keeps his victims alive for 3 days. In the meantime, he basically starves them, like enough so that they're like still conscious and stuff. He'll feed them, but it's mostly just scraps and.
But they don't know why.
Right.
They don't know why he keeps them alive for 3 days.
How hard is it to figure out what he's doing?
Well, especially when you get all the bodies and like what's missing.
And there's just swaths of skin that are gone. Obviously, he's taking their skin.
And he's making them lose fat,
right.
So it's easier to
He's picking up big girls and starving them and then cutting their skin off. It's pretty open as shut.
FBI hasn't figured that shit out.
I don't know, man. This was early 90s. I guess the advent of DNA made him get smart or something.
I don't
know. What is this? Oh, so she's riding in the car with Crawford because I guess they found a body. Buffalo Bill left. And that's at this funeral home.
In West Virginia.
Yeah. And, was it? I didn't notice it was in West Virginia.
Yep, they're in West Virginia, so it's their home state.
Yeah, she's back at home, pretty much, yeah.
And they go to the funeral home, and everybody just, all this like 40, 50 male sheriffs,
right.
They're just staring
this
at her.
guy's just standing in a room, like she's the only girl in there. Like
they don't say a word.
No.
They just stare at her.
Yeah, it's boys club.
Yeah. So she turns around to proceed to walk out of there, and flashback.
Yeah.
Dad's funeral.
So we find out that she was daddy's girl, and he died when she was younger.
Yeah.
That's pretty much, yeah.
She was about 10.
Right. Mm-hmm. They're giving us breadcrumbs, you know. And so in the meantime, though, Jack is profiling her. And it's funny because I watch these movies, and even like, I mean, I don't really watch it that much, but like, say for instance, like CSI or something like that, and they talk about these profilers. And I'm just thinking, like, profiling would be the easiest job ever.
Well, he's probably a 30 to 40-something-year-old white male.
Right. And so
that's all the crazy people out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And so it's pretty obvious what he is at that point, but yeah, whatever. So she says he's never going to stop because he's just now getting a taste for it and he's starting to get good at what he's doing. And so basically Crawford tells her that he sent her in there basically to try to get Hannibal Lecter to start offering up his advice as far as trying to find this. But he basically sent her in under the guise that she was trying to take this like personality psychiatric test, you know, on behalf of Buffalo Bill, to kind of like lower his defenses, if you will.
Yeah, and she had no idea.
Right. She's basically getting played.
Crawford
That's
knew that she was the perfect person to send in there, and he had this whole plan the whole time.
Right.
And we found out Crawford's not that dumb.
Crawford's not stupid.
No, he's a smart guy too.
Yeah.
So he sends her in there, and she's like, "Well, I would have liked to have known about this." He's like, "It would have never worked if you knew."
Right. Well, and that's the funny thing is that if you send in somebody that is like 20 years in the FBI and he's like, so what do you know about Buffalo Bill? He's basically going to tell him to fuck off, you know? And so, like, this was the perfect setup.
So we have to get into the autopsy now.
Yeah.
So that's
really awful scene.
Mentholatum rub underneath the nose.
Well, I was like, what's that for? I was like, for the stink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same. Wife asked the same question.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, that's got to smell.
Bad. Yeah.
They start taking pictures of her teeth. And that's when Clarice is like, there's something in the throat.
Yeah. Which I thought was pretty perceptive. I guess there was like a bruising on the tongue. It was because she was looking at the photo. But yeah. So she says there's something on the tongue.
We find out pretty quickly it's a cocoon.
It's like a chrysalis type of thing, yeah.
But did you notice that, like, when they pull that cocoon out, like, the air escaping the lungs?
Yeah, it was like escaping, yeah. Like that, yeah.
First of all, creepy as fuck.
Right.
Second of all, gross! You know how bad that must have smelled?
Right. But that means that I took that to mean because...
that she was alive.
Yeah, because if she was dead at that point, then she was not inhaling, so there wouldn't be anything in her lungs, pretty much, you know. Maybe some water from where she got dumped out there, but it's not going to be, like, full. So, yeah, I'm thinking that she probably choked on this thing, which means that she was alive. Maybe she was alive.
So the chrysalis was like the murder weapon.
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking. But do you think she died, or that he cut the skin off before or after she died?
I mean, you can't make really precision cuts when people are wiggling around.
Squirming, yeah.
So you kind of have to dead.
That'd be a horrible way to go, though. It's just basically, in order to keep yourself from choking, he would have to, like, strap you down and cram this thing down your throat, and then, like,
and you're not biting his finger off?
Well, that's a fair point, too, you know, but yeah.
Who knows? Maybe it's some weird contraption to hold their mouth open.
It was ultimately pretty creepy. I guess interesting trivia about that, they actually made that stupid chrysalis thing out of, like, Tootsie Rolls. I was like, oh, rock and roll.
Now that's all I can see.
Pretty cool, yeah.
It looks like
same color and everything.
Tootsie Roll.
Yeah, it does. But they sculpted the hell out of these Tootsie Rolls, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she takes the chrysalis straight to the stereotypical super nerdy bug dudes.
Yeah, which is funny. There was one of them that has like red hair that's like balding, and I was like, I've seen that dude somewhere. And I finally figured out where it was. I saw him. He was on the show Frasier with Kelsey Grammer. He was the guy that did like the sports show.
Oh, he was the other like disc jockey. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know.
I was like, oh, okay. So that's fair.
They identified it as a death head moth.
Yeah.
That are only found in Asia, and they go on to talk about how someone loved this bug and fed him and kept him warm.
Right. So it went through all this painstaking crap to cultivate this thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it ain't a mistake. It's there.
You know, and she didn't like swallow it when she got thrown in the river. Or anything.
Right.
No.
They immediately cut to Buffalo Bill's lair.
Oh, one of the dudes like hits on her again.
Oh yeah. She even asks, "Are you hitting on
me?"
Yes.
Like, yeah. Yeah.
So we keep that going on. Just like a woman can't just do her job without some dude trying to get some.
Yeah. So we find out what has happened with this girl that Buffalo Bill has kidnapped. I guess he has this well that's in his basement. That's this dried up well that he basically throws people down in there while he's starving them. And we see his stupid dog. He's got this poodle that he
Precious?
around. Which is insane to me that he like is in love with this dog, which we find out later. But like he does not give a crap about other people.
No.
And my wife, she's like, especially like whenever the girl got kidnapped, she's like, oh, is anybody gonna feed her cat? I was like, you just watched this chick get punched in the face with a cast like 3 times, and you're worried about the stupid cat? So their priorities way off base, dude. Yeah.
Watch the sweet lady.
When it comes to cats, when it's Senator's daughter, she doesn't care. But oh yeah, we find out it's the Senator's daughter.
Yep.
What was the Senator's name? I wrote that down somewhere. Something.
It's okay, Shane. We'll wait.
Yeah, I don't care. It's not really that big a deal anyway. Ruth Martin.
Senator Martin. Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, she puts out this video, like, on the news. She puts out this report saying, please help my daughter and all this other stuff. And,
Keep saying the kid's name.
yeah, so that to try to humanize her some.
Yeah.
So that it'll maybe dissuade the killer from killing her.
Yeah, the agent's comment about how smart that is, humanizing her.
Yeah. Anyway, she goes see Lecter again.
Yep.
Clarice does.
Brings him a big old fat deal.
Yeah. Tell us about the deal, Mike.
You give us a profile or help us, or you tell us who he is. Because she's pretty convinced Lecter knows who Buffalo Bill is. Tell us who he is, and we got this awesome thing where we'll transfer you to a VA hospital, which, I don't know, folks, if you've ever been to a VA hospital, there's like almost no security there.
No, it's not.
So I don't know where
a bunch of people that don't care.
Yeah, I don't know where they're going to keep him. And then once a year for a week, he gets to go to Plum Island, where he gets to swim and walk on the beaches under heavy surveillance.
For an hour.
Yeah.
By the end of that hour, I'd be so pissed off. Well, until next year, I guess.
Bon voyage.
Right.
He immediately calls bullshit.
He's like, no, it ain't bullshit. Like, I talked to, this. I got it on paper, It's bullshit.
It's bullshit.
Yeah. I said a room with a view is what I called that. But so then he says, all right, I'll hook you up. He says, but we're going to do this quid pro quo.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't know what quid pro quo meant.
You don't?
I didn't until last night when I looked it up.
Man, you've been through sexual harassment classes.
Yeah.
Quid pro quo?
I wasn't paying attention, but... Oh, no, I have. They never gave, like, a definition of what it meant, though.
You do something for me, I'll do something for you.
But I wanted to know, like, what it meant. Like the Latin of it.
Okay, tell me what the Latin means.
It meant a favor or advantage in return for something.
Yeah.
So...
You do me, I do you.
Basically, yeah. You show me yours, I'll show you mine.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so then she goes into detail about her dad, and we kind of get this backstory dump of what Clarice is all about. And there's not all of it, but a fair amount of it. Care to enlighten us, Mike?
Well, we find out Dad dies when she's like 10. Mom died.
He was on the force.
Well, Mom died when she was really young or something, right? Did they say what happened to Mom?
She's not around.
I know she said something about
I'm
Mom.
sure she did.
I don't remember if she ran off or if she died.
Mom's really not.
She ran
the fact that she's not there is the only pertinence Mom has in the story.
Right, she ran past that pretty quick.
Yeah.
So Dad dies when she's about 10, and she's shipped off to Montana to live with Mom's brother,
uncle.
Yeah.
Something, yeah.
And you find out it's a sheep and horse farm.
Yeah, like this ranch out there in the middle of nowhere. And then she says quid pro quo, and so then Hannibal starts talking about how the moth and all that actually signifies change, and how he's actually like Buffalo Bill considers himself to be like transforming, essentially. And so then he tells her that a pretty good lead to follow up with would be to like check out like you were saying earlier, they have a very limited, at this point in time, limited number of places that will perform gender assignment surgeries. Yeah, reassignment surgeries.
There's 3 reassignment surgeries, and again, that's when I started thinking about 20, 30 years ago. Like, okay, so she said transvestite at the beginning, but now he's talking about he uses the term transgender, and he uses the term sexual reassignment surgery. So I was like, man, this stuff's been around a lot longer than it's been in the public realm.
I agree.
Pretty interesting.
But yeah, nowadays they do it in like the back of a 7-Eleven just about, but back then it wasn't that common.
I don't think it's that crude.
Yeah, no. You'd have to wash your hands at least before you do it in the alley. But, so anyway.
He talks about how he's probably sexual. He thinks he's transgendered, but he's not.
Right.
He's actually delusional. He's trying to use the fact that he's transgender to make an excuse for his behavior.
Yeah.
But he's really just making up stuff to excuse his behavior.
Really.
Right.
Yeah.
He's just a jacked up person. So he tells her to check out those 3 facilities that perform the surgeries.
Right.
He said he was probably denied from one or all of the places.
Yeah.
So she does a little bit of background, but we get cut from there. Do we cut from there?
To the lotion scene, yeah.
Iconic scene.
I can hardly watch it. There's a bunch of scenes.
It puts the lotion on its skin.
Right.
Or it gets the hose again.
What does he say to her after he's like, put it in the bucket? Or what's he yelling at her?
Put it in the fucking bucket, I think.
Yeah. put in the fucking bucket, you bitch, or something like
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
totally changes.
There's been a lot of scenes in this movie that have been parodied, and this is like even Joe Dirt parodies this scene. Like, you know, it's pretty much iconic. But
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, it's a difficult scene to watch though, just because toward the end, she notices that there's like a fingernail sticking out of this wall of this well.
Yeah, as he's
And-
pulling up the bucket, the light goes up with it. You see all the claw marks,
Yeah.
and bloody scrapes.
Right, and up until that point, I think that the character that was stuck in the well was under the impression she might get out of this, and then nope, you ain't. That's gonna be miserable for you until you die, pretty much. You
It's
know?
over.
So yeah.
Just sit there, shut up, put lotion on your skin, you're gonna die.
In the meantime, you're gonna be pretty hungry. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, she starts freaking out, and then Buffalo Bill is like antagonizing her and like mocking her, screaming at the same time. Like nobody can hear you down here, you know. So I'm gonna scream with you because I think it's funny.
Yeah, he like cries with her.
Yeah.
Ah!
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was pretty bad. Pretty bad. I think the girl that plays the kidnappee, I think she actually did a really great job in this too.
She looked like a scared chick.
She did to me too. And we'll get to it later, but yeah, there's some other stuff that I thought was kind of funny in the movie. So,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, some of her stuff. But so what happens after that is we cut back to Hannibal Lecter. Clarice has already left at this point, and this Dr. Chilton tells him, he's like, you know, she's full of shit, right? Like, there's no deal. That piece of paper that she gave you that's all it is. It's a
Matter of
shitty
fact,
piece of paper.
Senator Martin's pissed about it and about to take the FBI off the case.
Mm-hmm.
And you see Lecter on a dolly, like a furniture dolly,
Yeah.
with this fucking cage mask,
Mhm.
smashing the shit out of his nose.
It
by the
is
way.
too, yeah. It's all like off to the side and stuff.
But they go to a side view, and I notice there's some room between his head and the dolly. So he could literally just move his head back an
Head
inch,
back, yeah.
and his nose wouldn't be smashed in there. Like, why is he doing that?
Move your head, bro.
It does look crazy, though.
It does look crazy. And so he offers him a deal. He says, you give me a name right now. He's like, and I can try to hook you up with something. And so anyway, he tells him that the name of the man they're looking for is Lewis. And he's like, all right, well, I made you a deal. And so they fly his ass out to Memphis.
Well, he said he won't tell him anymore until he tells the senator himself.
Oh, I got you.
He's
Yeah.
like, I'm not saying anything else until I get to tell the senator
Gotcha,
myself.
yeah.
Because supposedly she might be able to make a deal now.
Right. And I'm not going to get hooked again on this shit.
Right.
Yeah.
So they fly him out there, and now he's on a dolly with a different mask.
The iconic. This is the mask you think of when you think of Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I don't know what was the purpose of the two different masks.
I don't know. Go into a Halloween store is the difference. Like, even if you've never seen this movie, you've seen this mask. You know?
Maybe somewhere in
iconic.
there, the director realized like that cage mask won't sell a lot, but I can sell the shit out of
Yeah.
that fiberglass.
It could be.
mask.
It could be. I don't know. The new mask is badass though.
Mhm.
So.
You know, like how it has like little bars across the mouth, so you
You
can't.
ain't sticking your fingers in there. Yeah.
It looks like it was. I mean, it looks like a mask that they built specifically for Lecter.
It looks like something out of like Hellraiser or something. You know.
Pretty good.
Crazy shit. Yeah. So he goes to Memphis. He doesn't realize, or Dr. Chilton doesn't realize that Hannibal Lecter has stolen his ink pen because he's sitting there writing shit down and all this.
Yeah.
And,
And he goes to sign something,
Yeah, he signs the transfer form or whatever.
but the cop is like, "Here's a pin."
oh, you don't have
because
your-
Chilton
here,
can't
use
find
mine.
his pin.
Yeah, and so that's when we're first alluded to the fact that Lecter took his pen.
Well, we saw Lecter in the scene before, like staring at the pin on the
Right.
cop, like just intently staring at it.
Yeah. First, he's not going to waste that opportunity. He doesn't get pins every day. You know? So then, so they want Buffalo Bill's last name. The senator does, and he says it's Lewis Friend is his name, which I think sounds made up, but whatever. And then he starts insulting her, and she gets pissed off about it.
Talks about like her breastfeeding her child, and when she thinks about her kid, does her nipples get hard?
Yeah, and he's talking about how like amputees can like still feel the itching of their legs and stuff. He's like, whenever your daughter's not here, where are you gonna itch? You know, and like just messed up stuff like
Yeah.
that. You know,
And he's,
like,
she's like, "Get him the fuck out of here," and he's like, "Nice suit."
yeah.
I don't even know what that fucking means.
You might be talking about the skin suit that Buffalo Bill's whooping up. Yeah.
Interesting.
But, yeah. So anyway, he decides that, like, he gets the senator's attention, and he decides that they're going to work together, basically.
But I don't get it because she said send him back to Baltimore, and then they cut to him in a museum inside of
he's
a
in
giant
this
cage.
big, like 30-foot tall, like basketball court looking room. It's like this big ass cage. There was maybe a scene missing or something. I don't know. I was watching it. I was like, what are they doing?
And he went from like not being able to touch like paper clips and staples. Now he's got a record player, and nice chair, and they're serving him like fine dinners.
Yeah.
Like what's going
Was
on?
that part of like the deal? I guess.
It must have been. They didn't explain it.
Which is fine. I mean, you don't have to spell everything out. It's whatever. But so Starling goes to see him when he's in his new cell, his new accommodations, and it's this big ass cell. It's probably about, what is it, like 12 foot by 12 foot? Would you say?
It's huge.
It's a big cell compared to what he had. He was
Right.
like in a fishbowl before, and he's in this big open area where basically there's a guy that's like at the door with a table. And then there's another guy that like just sits there and stares at this stupid cell, you know. She goes to talk to him, brings him his artwork back, and she's like, look, you know, I didn't mean to fuck you over on that deal. I thought it was legit, you know. And so they decide they're going to do some quid pro quo again.
Well, he asked her if Anthrax Island was her idea.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah.
Yeah. That was
And
fine.
he was like, pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little kudos. So then we finally get to the meat of Clarice's backstory, which is, I guess, one morning while she was on this ranch at her uncle's ranch, she woke up and she heard this screaming, and she couldn't figure out what the hell it was.
She said something like children's screams.
Right. And so she goes downstairs and she still hears it, and so she goes out to like this barn, and what they're doing is grabbing up the lambs that are in the barn and butchering them, you know, which is pretty normal on a ranch, I would assume.
Right.
I've never owned a ranch, but so anyway, she starts freaking out, and she winds up going up to like the pen where all the sheep are, and she like opens the pen, but like they're sheep, they're stupid, you know. So like these domesticated sheep, they just stand there and stare at her, and
Yeah,
she's
she
like,
says they won't run.
"What the fuck?" Yeah, and so she like grabs one and hightails it out of there, and then she said the lamb was way too heavy, and so
It's
she
fucking freezing outside.
yeah, and so she winds up not being able to carry this thing, and finally like the police catch up with her or whatever, and the uncle's pissed off and sends her away and all that, and then turns out they executed this lamb, you know, butchered him for food.
Right.
And so anyway, Hannibal alludes to the fact that she's still feeling guilty over not being able to save that stupid lamb, you know.
Yeah, and she's doing everything she does today in order to silence the
Like
lambs.
atone for not being able to save that one, which I think is interesting, because if you're now we're transposing like people to lambs, you know, like if so is there a comparison there that basically people are sheep
Well,
and there's like danger surrounding us and we're unable to like perceive this danger, and
Well,
because the lambs wouldn't leave, you know.
well, in Christianity too, like Jesus is the Lamb of God.
Right.
So you know, you might maybe it's along that. Well, you know, you're trying to
Could
save
be.
humanity almost too.
Yeah.
So it's up to your own interpretation, probably.
Even at that though, you go back to like Schindler's List, and like the whole crux of that movie was like save one life and save the world entire, you know. And so like I mean, there's a lot of different I guess layers to this thing that you could really get into. And like this is a good movie on like a superficial level, but you can stop and sit back and think and come up with different hypotheses all day long about it, you know.
Well, the first time I watched the movie is when I was, like I said, a 13-year-old kid. The whole time I'm watching this movie, I'm like, why is this called Silence of the Lambs?
I don't see a damn lamb in this stupid thing.
I don't get it.
Right.
And when they get to the scene, you find out, you know, oh, that's why they call it Silence of the Lambs. I get it.
Mm-hmm. Which I have to say, as far as the Thomas Harris books go, it's a way better like title than like Hannibal or Red Dragon. Like Silence of the Lambs is pretty artsy sounding, you know. But
Yeah.
anyway, he tells her that the first thing you do whenever oh, what is it he's talking about? He talks about coveting.
Oh, right.
Yeah, like taking somebody's skin is like coveting them. Basically.
Well, he's talking about like what is Buffalo Bill really doing?
right.
And she's
right,
like killing people. And he's like, no.
No,
He's coveting
them.
Yeah.
He wants their everything about them, really. He wants their skin, he wants their gender, he wants everything, that this other person has that he is not,
Yeah, and what do you covet the most?
Something you see every day.
Right.
Yeah. And so she doesn't really put together what that means. Anyway, Dr. Chilton shows up. He's like, hey, you're not supposed to be in here. Because there was a very short list of people that could actually go see Lecter. And so...
Well, and Chilton don't like her.
No.
Because he was coming and seeing Lecter and not sharing notes.
Yeah,
and
she's
all
not
that.
running anything through him at all.
Right.
Yeah.
And he tried, he made an advance at her when they first met. She's not
She
interested.
shut him right down.
So he's not used to that kind of shit. He's used to being in charge. So he's like, you gotta get the fuck up out of here.
Right.
And was there like dragging her out?
Yeah. And Lecter's like, here's your case file. You left this over here. And she comes back to like grab the case file, wiggles her way out of those dudes. And she like grabs the case file and he like touches her finger. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if there's like he did that because he like respects her. I don't know if it has anything to do with him necessarily being attracted to her.
Pretty sure he just wanted to touch her.
It's human contact. Like he hasn't had any in 8 years.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And so I don't know.
Especially
maybe that's
female
it.
contact.
Right. But I think part of it too is that he kind of like sees her as like his equal, at this
Or
point.
a student, maybe.
Or perhaps even a student. Yeah, that could be it.
But they definitely focus on that touch.
Yes. They made a special deal about it.
Yeah, so there's something there.
So anyway, they cut to him. Like she hops on a plane and she gets the fuck out of there. And so we look then and we see that like Lecter is now drawing like pictures of her like holding a lamb and stuff like that. And he
really
orders,
good drawing.
Yeah, really good drawing. Considering it's been like an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is it? Oh, they bring him dinner.
Lamb chops.
Yeah, he orders lamb for dinner.
And there's a second fucking dinner.
Yeah.
Here, I ate dinner once.
I thought I was the only one that ate 2 dinners.
When they were like, this is the second dinner of the night, I'm like, what are you guys doing? And you got them lamb chops?
Right. That's a bomb-ass dinner.
I'm like, I don't think I've even had a lamb chop.
I've had a lamb chop. They're good. They're good.
I'm going to have to try one now.
Yeah, it's bomb.
So the cops, like, do the whole routine, right?
Yeah.
Grab
Cuff 'em
some
to
floor.
the cage, yeah. Why would they physically bring him in dinner? Why wouldn't they just slide it through like a hole in the door?
I don't know. I found myself asking that same question.
Yeah.
Like, that whole scene,
Right.
it's almost like he knew
Yeah.
that these guys were going to fuck up. You know what I mean? Because, and with that kind of mind Hannibal has, like, he can have a plan, and he won't know when he's going to be able to execute it.
Right.
He just knows he's going to be ready when that opportunity presents itself.
He has a pen. I don't know when I'm going to need it, but I have one.
It's tucked right here in my fucking cheek.
Yep, that's it. I think you would be able to ascertain pretty early on that they're not going to, like, slide you dinner through a slot. Because you look around the cage, there ain't no slot in here to stick lamb chops
Well,
through.
no, he already did a dinner once.
Yeah,
He
well,
already had dinner
so
once
he
that
already
night.
knows.
So
what
he
the
knows
deal
exactly
is.
what they're going to do.
Right.
Oh, I didn't even think about that just now.
Yeah.
So that's why he had 2 dinners. Because the first dinner was to see what they were going to do
I'm
and
going to
how
get
they were going to do
Salisbury
it.
steak first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the second, when he saw their routine, he requested a second dinner because he knew
Right.
tonight was the night he was going to make his move.
Yeah, so we decided, this is when the movie actually, like, people describe this as a horror movie, and through most of this is like, it's a good little mystery, but this is where, like, stuff starts getting ramped up.
I would
in my
say
opinion.
thriller.
Yeah, perhaps.
More of a...
I wasn't that horrified, but it is thrilling.
Yeah, I would say like a psychological thriller.
Right.
That's how I
Yeah,
would
it's
describe
most definitely psychological. Not a horror, I don't think.
No.
It's kind of gory, but it's not horrific.
Well, there's really only a couple of like...
It gets pretty gory coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, right here in this scene.
There you go.
I mean, he just jumps
Yeah.
on that cop and just starts...
Right. Dude, he empties that guy's entire can of pepper spray in his face after he, like, bit his nose off.
You know how bad that hurt?
Dude, it hurts so bad. And then the other guy, he just continually beats the fuck out of that guy with this
Yeah,
nightstick.
handcuffed him to the thing and just
Yeah.
like methodically, just like one blow after another blow after another blow
Just
after
ending
another
this
blow.
guy. Yeah, there goes piano lessons. There goes one thing. Just constant brain damage.
Just whooping the shit out
Yeah,
of
he
him.
does. He used the pin. He was behind this little like blind thing to like.
Looked like
use
he was shitting.
Yeah, And he used the contents of that pen to pick his handcuffs. I think we glossed over that, but it doesn't. Go watch the movie. We're talking about it. Yeah, exactly. No by the way, spoiler alert. Anyway, did you notice that the cops had like this goofy tie clip that looked like handcuffs that were on? Yeah, I thought it was this weird thing. I thought maybe like it was just one of the guys wearing it because he thought of like maybe it was a Christmas present from the wife or something. And then the other guy was wearing it. I was like, is this part of their uniform? What's up with this?
I don't know.
Yeah, it was strange. I don't know. Let's see. Oh yeah, pepper spray. The cops figure out like the elevator starts acting weird.
Right.
Yeah, it gets real wonky.
So the rest of the cops were like, what the fuck's going on? The elevator's whack. Obviously, Lecter's loose.
Yeah.
And they hear a gunshot on the 5th floor. Then the elevator goes down to the 3rd floor. So they all like, so they get out. They're like, there's, wait, no, that hasn't happened yet. So they go into the 3rd floor, and the cop's crucified.
Yeah, he's all splayed out, like entrails are dangling. Yeah.
So he's like either crucified or he looks like a bird of some sort because he put that drapery kind of stuff behind him.
Bat or something. Yeah.
Maybe a bat.
I thought the bat signal actually.
Maybe a dragon.
There you go.
I don't know.
Red dragon, whatever.
But he's definitely hung up there and he's fucked up. There's another cop laying on the floor. His face looks like it's been all chewed on.
Sergeant Pembry, yeah. He's all messed up.
So they immediately like start applying first aid, call the ambulance, and get Pembry out of there.
Yeah.
They take him to an elevator. Blood drip, drip, drip coming down from the ceiling. So now they know something's up.
Right. Somebody injured is on top of that elevator car.
Yeah, and they know that Pembry got one shot off.
Right.
Because I don't know how they just looked in his gun and they saw there was one bullet missing.
Well, they heard a gun go off too.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right.
And so, Lecter's he's trying to escape on top of the elevator, and he got shot. So that's where he is. And so they go up to the floor up above, and they look down, and they see Lecter laying there, kind of a little bit of a pool of blood, and he's wearing all the jail garb and everything, and they're like, he's not responding when they call out to him, and they're like, put one in his leg, and we'll get a reaction that way. And so, sure enough, put one in his leg, doesn't move at all. And then we cut to the ambulance again. What happens to the ambulance, Mike?
Well, the dude is like sending up a report about like the health of the Officer Pembry in an ambulance. He's like, he was showing signs of seizure and all this other stuff, but he seems to be stable now or en route, whatever. And then just at that point, we see old Pembry sit up, rip his own fucking face off, and it's Hannibal Lecter on there.
Covered in blood.
Yeah. Lecter is wearing Pembry's face as a mask.
As a mask. Oh, that's insane. I wouldn't have even thought of that, you know.
To include his scalp.
Right.
Like he took his hair with it.
And he apparently was exact enough so that they didn't even pick up on the fact that it wasn't really his face, you know. It's insane.
Well, his reputation of being like a guy who attacks faces helped him.
Right.
Because they saw this jacked up face and they just assumed that he got attacked by Lecter.
Messed up face, yep, absolutely. Yeah, that's good stuff. So then we see, so I guess Clarice and the other girl, I didn't get the other girl's name that's in the training. They start to figure out what's going on. And they
found a note from Lecter?
Yeah, there was a note. I don't remember what it said.
It said something like, aren't these random locations seem too random?
Yeah, and they're going through and looking at the different locations for the murders and all that. And they look at the first one, and then she remembers his comment about he's coveting something that he sees every day. And so then they're like, wait a minute. And so they go back and they look at where the first murder took place.
They're like, he knows her.
Yeah.
He knew her.
And so she goes back
to Ohio.
Right, and talks to the dad and like goes through all of the first victim. What was her name? Federica Bimmel. They go through and look at she looks at her shit.
Goes into her bedroom.
Yeah. And she pops open their jewelry box and finds these pictures that are in there. I guess I must have been occupied or something. Was it Buffalo Bill that had taken the pictures, or?
I didn't see Bill in any of the pictures.
I didn't. The only thing I was thinking is maybe he told her he's like a photographer or something, and he's like taking pictures because he's like, "Ooh, I'm gonna get some."
Oh,
of her
and that's
skin
why he
later."
was covering her. Yeah.
Right.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So that she opens up a closet and there's a dress there with like a pattern on the back of it. It's the exact
It's
same.
got stitching in it, and in that same pattern is what was on her back.
Well, yeah, what they were cutting out of the backs. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now she knows she's on the trail of something here.
Meanwhile, she calls Jack Crawford, and she's like, "Yo, the dude's here in town," and he's like, "No, he's not. He's in Calumet City, Illinois."
We know who he is.
Yeah, they're convinced because apparently there's some dude that lives in Calumet City that he'd gone for gender reassignment surgery, and
His name was
at
Louis
Johns
Friend.
Hopkins. Yeah, and they initially were gonna. I guess he wasn't allowed to get the surgery, or they weren't gonna perform the surgery, and so he had like this fascination with lepidoptery and moths and all this other stuff, and so like that's it. That's the guy, and. So
So you see this FBI is like all at the house.
Yeah.
Like getting ready to raid. They do the whole like fucking cliche rose box delivery.
yeah, I love that. Have you ever seen somebody with a big box of like in real life?
If I saw one, I'm pretty sure they have a shotgun in there.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Like, get the fuck away from my
That's
front
fake as
door,
fuck.
dude.
Yeah, they even did that in Terminator 2. Actually, you see old Arnold walking in with the box of roses.
Yeah. So you get that fucking rose box away from me.
Right.
So they.
Oh, meanwhile, she talked to Federica's friend, and
Oh,
she was
right.
like, "Yeah, she used to like hang out with this dude that lived, or there was some lady that like lived at this house or whatever.
They did work for her.
Yeah.
Tailored for her or something. Yeah.
Something, yeah." And she's like, "All right, I'll check it out." So anyway,
So now we're back at the front door. FBI busts open the door. Oh no, they're ringing the doorbell.
that's a crazy looking doorbell. It's like shooting sparks and shit, man.
Yeah, every time the cop rings the doorbell, this thing just starts electrifying, like lights up the whole house.
What the hell? Meanwhile, he's sitting in the basement with his dick tucked back.
Wait, have we seen that already?
Yeah, that was before this.
Oh, we can't pass that.
Oh no.
All right.
What did you think of when you saw that? I think of Clerks 2 every time.
So we saw Buffalo Bill selling skins.
Yeah.
They know who he is. They said, he's getting ready to goodbye horses
Yeah.
by Q
I
Lazarus.
can never hear that song without thinking of this. He's sitting there singing it in his like way too low voice. Yeah.
And he's like putting his lipstick on, and he's talking about like,
Right.
would you fuck me?
I'd fuck me. I'd fuck me hard.
And they're building up this moment, and the first time we watch the movie, you don't know what they're building up to, but he's just getting ready. He's getting ready.
We see his nipple ring.
Oh God!
I don't never want to see a dude with a nipple ring that close again.
I kept thinking to myself, was like, is that a real nipple ring or is that a prosthetic nipple?
It could. I mean, prosthetics is a hell of an industry. Like there's some realistic looking shit out there.
I don't think it'd be that hard to make a nipple though. There's already a well-defined edge.
Do they? I'm sure they in movies make nipples all the time.
Well, in Total Recall, that one chick got a whole third titty,
Yeah, absolutely.
so they could do it.
Okay. But yeah,
I want to believe that the actor was dedicated enough to his
to
role.
get a real nipple ring.
Yeah, tug on it.
I don't think I could be that dedicated to anything.
So he's
that's
dancing,
rough.
and got the nipple ring popping.
He's got this weird little tattoo like on his ribs.
like
looks like a knife or something sticking through
like
something.
Jesus wounds.
Yes.
Because Jesus,
Yeah.
he got stabbed. He
Right,
got
with the spear, yeah.
in the ribs.
Mhm.
So, then he kind of dances on back with his robe on, and he's got his dick tucked.
Yeah. My wife at this point is like, ugh. She hadn't seen this movie in forever, but she's not digging that.
As a young boy coming into his sexuality at this time in my life, it blew my fucking brains.
Do people do this? Yeah.
Because it looked like a girl,
Yeah, totally.
but I knew it was a dude.
Right.
Fucked my head.
All he has
bro.
to do is talk and you can tell it's a dude.
Well, and he had no boobs,
Right.
but he had a little bush.
Yeah.
And in that time, like in '91, like that's what girls had.
Yeah, he's just rocking that mangina. Well, yeah, we're just coming out of the 80s. Like, the 70s and 80s were prime Bush era, you know?
Dude, fucked me.
Yeah.
Fucked me
No, I can
seriously.
see that. I'm glad that they edited that out of TV, because I don't think I could have handled that at 8, man. Just can't do it, bro.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Have you ever done it?
The mangina?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird,
I
right?
told my wife, or I showed it to my wife.
After the movie?
No, not last night. Like
right after the movie, you just tuck your dick and we're like, check it out.
No, this is like when we first got together. She's like, I don't like that.
I picture you guys like the first time you fucking hooked up. I picture you just tucking your dick in. Yeah.
What you think? So, what you gonna do about this, huh? That's
Oh
funny.
my god.
You ever done it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think it's hilarious to do it. I only whip that thing out on special occasions, though. So.
I've never done it in front of an audience though.
No?
No.
Not even the wife?
No, I think I did it like probably pretty soon after I saw the movie.
Yeah.
Like in the mirror in the bathroom.
Oh, yeah.
Like that does look weird.
Yeah, it's pretty strange not
Yeah.
having that thing going on down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad we went back to that 'cause we had to talk about
Dude, you can't skip that, bro. Like.
that. So where we at? Oh, the
So,
doorbell.
Yeah, doorbell's ringing.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, while he's messing around with this, wing wang tuck back, she's actually got this plot where she's gonna kidnap his dog. And
Right.
yeah, so she has this bone that's down there. I'm sure it was another victim or something. Or
Or it was probably like a chicken bone or something.
yeah, he was giving her scraps, so it was probably just a piece of food or whatever.
Yeah.
And she tied it onto this bucket, and she threw the bucket up there.
Come
and
here,
she's like,
Precious!
Come here, Precious. Yeah, yeah. And she's trying to get the dog to come that way, so that basically the dog will take hold of that bone, and she can just yank the dog and the bucket and the bone and everything down there with it.
Right.
And what happens after that?
She gets the fucking dog.
Yeah. Don't you hurt my dog. Yeah.
Oh, dude. She's like, I'm pretty sure she broke her leg on the way
Yeah,
down.
she's really hurt. You gotta get.
Yeah, you gotta get us out of here.
Yeah.
Pretty smart thinking, honestly.
It was resourceful. I can dig it.
I mean, she knew it was either this or die,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wouldn't have thought of that.
and she's probably still gonna die. But she's gotta
She's
try
trying.
something. Yeah, she's gotta try something.
Yeah.
So I mean, I gotta give it up to her on that. I thought it was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, so the doorbell's ringing. He's back in normal clothes and all that. I think he's back there fucking with those moths or something. And he
Probably.
takes like the cocoon off of one of them. He hears the doorbell
oh, it's like
ringing.
climbing on his face. He's talking about how beautiful
Yeah.
and strong they are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Doorbell's ringing, so sure enough, we see the FBI bust into the house. Wrong house. They're nowhere near the right thing. And the doorbell ringing was actually Clarice.
Yep.
She's checking shit out.
Yep. Here goes
You-
Bill. Open up the door, and there's lovely Clarice just
Mhm.
standing there, talking about. She's asking about Mrs. The lady who used to
Lady
live
that
there.
lived there before,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then she was investigating.
hmm He's like, did she leave any paperwork around? He's like, I don't think so. He's like, I have a business card, I think, with her info on it. He's like,
Yeah.
let me get you the card, yeah.
And she tells him like I'm investigating Buffalo Bill murders and
Mm-hmm.
the missing Martin girl.
Right. And it's kind of frustrating because as the audience member, you know what's going on, but you're like, man, I really don't want him to be smooth and like play this off and like her actually be on the right path and then like totally be oblivious to all this stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so
But he starts asking too many questions.
conversation goes south pretty quick.
Yeah, he starts asking like, so do you guys know anything about him?
Yeah.
Do you have a name for him?
Well, and he even asked about that Federica Bimmel, and he's like, "Oh, the fat girl," and all this
Oh,
stuff.
that big old, he says that
Yeah,
great big fat lady.
Great big fat lady.
That's instantly you know something's up.
Oh, he noticed she was fat. Like
Yeah.
ordinarily, people don't necessarily make that assertion to somebody. Like you might think it, but you're not gonna tell somebody like, "Oh, that fat lady." Yeah.
And she knows because Lecter earlier said to her, was she roomy in the hips when he was talking about one of the
Yeah.
victims? And she said, yes, they all were.
Right.
They, they're all plus size girls.
Mhm.
So when the guy says, when Bill says, great big fat lady, like light bulb,
Yeah.
something's not right here.
Right. She's picking up on what's going on. Finally, she he's back there digging through these cards. Dude, he has this freaking hand cannon that he's like, did you see the size of that gun?
44 Magnum or something
Yeah,
crazy.
that thing was ridiculous, bro. And he's got it back there on like the stove or whatever while he's fumbling through these cards. She
Moth.
asks him, yeah, the moth flops down on the table. And she's like, what the fuck? She's like, can I use your phone real quick? And he's like, oh, yeah, phone's right back there. And then she's like, well, I'm done with this charade crap, you know? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, she pulls out her gun and she's like, put your hands up. And he takes off.
Freeze!
Yeah,
Freeze!
right.
Dude, today, 2017, you're
Mhm.
dead.
Oh, yeah, that's over.
The moment
They
you
would at
flinch,
least
you-
put one in your knee, you know?
You're getting shot now.
Yes.
So
They got tasers nowadays. So
she's just yelling freeze at him and he takes off running,
yeah.
grabs his pistol and disappears into the basement.
Yeah. which I'm sure that pistol slowed him down. The thing weighed like 30 pounds.
Dude, I seen the movie. I know how it ends, and my heart started racing last night when I was watching that scene again. Like, shit is on.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. She goes down the basement. She hears old girl in the basement screaming, the senator's daughter, in this well. And so she's like, I'm with the FBI. I got people that are coming and all this other stuff. She's like, I'll get you out in a minute. I gotta catch this dude first. And she's like, get the fuck back here, you fucking bitch.
Get me out of this fucking hole!
That's exactly how I would react to this. You're gonna leave me here? Are you insane? Yeah.
Yeah, again, great acting.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
Did you notice how many rooms and doors were in that basement?
A huge basement, bro.
It seemed
It's
like,
got this whole aviary down there.
or if it's like, is this a different house?
Nope, same house.
Same basement.
The house didn't look that. You would think that the limit of the basement would be the walls of the house. But the sucker was huge.
It's a
man.
labyrinth.
Yeah, it was. She was completely lost. She goes into that aviary where all the moths are. Did you notice in there he's got like a swastika poster on like the door?
Yeah, and I noticed when he was like freaking out, like, cause he goes into a separate room too, and like he's freaking out, and he grabs his pistol. Like I guess he set it down. And he grabs his pistol off of a blanket that has like big swastikas on it.
So this guy's a Nazi too.
Right.
This is so great.
He's all kinds of fucked up, bro.
Yes. Man, like we're gonna throw Nazism into the mix here because I don't hate this guy enough already, you know.
Yeah, so she runs through 79 different rooms in the basement. Takes her about 35 minutes.
Yeah, just about.
I'm exaggerating, but there's like a big chase for a basement.
Well, that was the director's cut. It was the 35 minutes.
Oh.
We're like walking around, slamming doors behind her. So she like ties off a rope so that she knows how to get back.
Yeah, leave breadcrumbs trail.
Do like E.T. and leave like Reese's Pieces on the ground.
I do like some Reese's Pieces.
Yeah, absolutely. So then Bill kills the lights. That's where my heart stops right there, man. Because he knows the ins and outs of this basement. He has night vision goggles, too. She is in a completely... Like, this place is disgusting, number one. Like, there's crap everywhere. It's completely dark. And she can't see shit, you know?
Oh, yeah, it's pitch black.
So screwed, bro.
It's pitch black except for...
Looking at his goggles.
When they show the scene on him, he's kind of lit.
Yeah.
His shoulders and the top of his head are lit a little bit.
Right. That's for us, the viewer.
That's the wife. I was like, he's lit. She could see him. And my wife was like, babe, that's so we could see Bill.
Right.
That's like, okay.
Right. They're keeping us in mind too.
Yeah. Okay.
If we, the viewer, like this whole last third of the movie is completely dark, rip off.
Like, what happened?
That ain't Best Picture, I'll tell you that.
He's like almost touching her face, like
about to play
really
with her.
close.
Yeah, he's just toying with her. He's convinced that he's gonna get her. He's just having a good time.
No, he's just having fun, watching her freaking the fuck out. She's like stumbling and falling.
Yeah, she's got her arms out, can't see shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did a really good job of building like the tension.
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, like the whole absolutely him like reaching out to like barely not touch her.
There was a couple times where like I thought he almost grazed her. And I was like,
I thought that with the hair. It looked like he almost like touched her hair.
Yeah, and when she turned around one time, he almost like touched her chin. Like it was so close that it could have touched.
It's a great way of building suspense.
Yeah.
To me, that's way more effective than like, endless CGI, and all this other crap that they do. And like something like that. It's such a simple scene, but it's so much more effective.
Well, and it's from his perspective.
Yeah.
So you're almost inside of Buffalo Bill.
Right. And you really don't want to see him succeed, but that's the only viewpoint you have at that point,
Yeah, and you know what? Like, you kind of want him to touch her.
It would almost be like relieving tension if he like touched her hair.
If he touched her so she knew he was there.
Yeah.
Like, if he
she doesn't even know he's in the same room.
Right, like if he fucked up and touched her shoulder by accident, like as she's turning, then she would know he was there and she could get the drop on him. But he doesn't fucking touch her.
Never does. Nope. It was really effective. It was a great scene. And then, he goes to shoot her. He pulls back the hammer. Yeah. And she's like, that's all I need. Boom! Yeah, turns right around. Smokes that dude.
Puts few in the chest.
I think she emptied her entire gun on that dude.
And then conveniently hit one of the windows.
Yeah, she shot out the window. And so now we can see Buffalo.
Completely lit room.
She killed Bill.
Yeah. Nice.
Hey-o. I need a snare drum. Like,
He has the same newspaper article hanging up in that room that says Bill Skin's fifth.
Oh, is it the start of the movie?
Yeah.
I got you.
So
That's pretty cool. I didn't even notice that.
ties it up in a nice little bow
Yeah,
for you.
little bookend.
We cut to her graduation.
Yeah, we do.
Crawford.
That cake looked awesome, by the way. They did a good job on that cake.
Were you looking at that?
Well,
cake
the
shape?
icing looked really elaborate.
Did you really want some cake?
That's where your tax dollars are going to, is that stupid cake.
I got good news, dude. We're going to a friend's birthday party after we're done recording this. There's gonna be cake there.
It won't be that cake, but it'll probably be okay.
Oh, by the way, if you're listening, happy birthday, Kelly.
Yeah, happy birthday, Kelly.
So
She graduates FBI training.
Yep. Crawford pulls her aside real quick.
Yep, you got a call.
Yeah. Well, Crawford. Someone else tells her she has a phone call.
Yeah.
And then Crawford is like, "Hey, I'm about to take off. I'm doing so good in this stuff, but hey, good job." And you see like their relationship because Lecter he asked like, "Do you think he wants to fuck you?"
Right.
And all stuff. And you see there like Crawford really just respects her and like
He
thinks
sees
about
her as more of an equal now.
Yeah,
she's not some graduate.
Yeah, he respects her, and like you could tell he really was like mentoring her. It wasn't about like trying to fuck her.
No. He, as much of a douchebag as Dr. Chilton was, I actually think that Crawford was like a good guy, like a decent dude.
Yeah, I kept waiting to see him like through bad eyes.
Yeah.
But he didn't.
Yeah.
Like
He's got something going on. No, they never.
No, he had a plan. There's
Yeah.
some things he didn't tell her on purpose. He talks about the funeral home when he's like, "We shouldn't talk about this mixed company." You know,
Right.
like he did that so the guys would trust him.
Right.
It wasn't
was
about
a
her.
boys' club thing.
Right.
Yeah, and he had to try to build their trust, I guess, or like build their confidence.
Yeah. So I liked
It was
Crawford.
good. Yeah.
So she gets the phone call. Who's on the other end?
It is Hannibal Lecter, and I actually had to look it up. He is down in Bimini, this Caribbean type climate. He's wearing the stupid like fedora. And
Straw
looks
hat.
like he's looking like just a regular vacationing person, like a tourist.
He's got like beautiful surfer boy haircut.
Yeah, he's got the hair going.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. And at first it's kind of funny because he tells her like, I don't remember how exactly it goes, but he tells her something like, "Congratulations on graduating," and he's like, "Now I helped you out, so you can't come looking for me." She's like, "I can't promise you that."
Right.
And he's like, "Well," she's like, "Where are you?" He's like, "Oh, I can't go into that. I'm having a friend over for dinner."
I'm having
Or
an old friend for
dinner.
dinner.
Yeah, that's the line.
And then who do we see?
We see Dr.
Johnny
Chilton.
does eat that motherfucker.
Dude, so at first I was watching that and I told my wife, I was like, "Is that Nick Nolte?" Getting off the plane. I was like, why would they have like this random Nick Nolte cameo at the end of the movie? And then I like rewound it. Oh, that's Dr. Chilton. I'm such a dumbass. You
They
know?
kind of have a resemblance.
If you see like the side view of them and like you're not focusing on it, I can see that. But yeah, I felt like a moron. What does Nick Nolte have to do with any of this? But yeah, that's the way the movie closes.
In scene.
Yes, sir. Directed by Jonathan Demme.
Yeah. I just looked over something
Yeah.
after the movie was over. I looked up like how long was the book, and it turns out it was 338 pages.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
They got a lot out of 338 pages. Because I wouldn't say 338 is necessarily a long book.
It's definitely not like some big epic novel.
Yeah.
But it's a decent sized book. It was written in 1988.
Yeah.
This film adaptation, they started filming it probably in like 89,
It was,
90.
Yeah, it was pretty.
If it was a number one movie in
Pretty quick.
91,
Right.
they had to start like no later than 90.
Well, you have to think, like, pretty much from the time the book was written, you would think that they started, like, the legal stuff as far as, like, the rights, who owns the rights to it, and who's going to buy this thing, and all this stuff,
And now I think about it, like Silence of the Lambs was a sequel
Mm-hmm.
in the novel series.
Yeah.
So maybe they knew, like, as he was writing this thing, like, we're going to make this a movie.
Yeah. It very well could be.
So I don't know if it's because of the length of the novel that lends itself to this, but Jonathan Demme did a great job of pacing.
I agree.
There was no bullshit in this movie.
There weren't any spots where I was like, man, we just get on with it.
Yeah, we didn't need this 15
Like
minutes.
Titanic had slow spots riddled throughout the first half of that movie. This one kept me going the whole time.
I kept as the scenes unfolded last night as I'm watching the movie, I kept thinking like, man, they explained so much to us, like with her and her dad.
Mm-hmm.
We saw her dad on screen for like 15 seconds
maybe
total.
18 seconds.
Yeah. But we knew everything we needed
We
to know
know
about
everything about their relationship. Yeah.
We knew that she trained hard. They showed her training. The opening scene was the longest we saw her train.
Right.
Other than that, we saw her do a clear room.
Right.
And we saw her at the range.
But those two scenes were, what, like 8 seconds apiece?
Right.
And the only reason they even had those in there, because we already got the point that she's, you know, an overachiever, she's really trying hard. The only reason they put those other two scenes in there was just to show that she's really shook up by, you know, this interaction with Hannibal, you know.
Yeah.
And
and Hannibal is only in the movie, well, besides his escape scene,
Right.
he's only in the movie like 3 times.
Well, and that's what I was just thinking earlier is the Buffalo Bill is kind of he's I would say the central antagonist, considering that we actually learn, I think, more about Hannibal Lecter than probably anybody else in the movie, but he only takes up probably maybe like 40%.
What did you learn about Hannibal Lecter?
I mean, everything about his character.
I didn't learn anything about
You didn't learn anything? No. I mean, you find out how smart he is.
Yeah.
Like how resourceful he is.
Okay.
I mean, little stuff. You don't know any backstory.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I thought you were talking
Right.
about. I was like, man, I missed that whole part.
I know. He had a wife, and no, that absolutely never happened.
But the pacing was great. I really thought that's what drove this film. Mm-hmm. What'd you think about it?
Pacing was good. I thought overall the acting was really where this movie shined.
Well, again, we talked about at the beginning. Jodie Foster, Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah.
And
The all-star
and
team.
then Ted Levine, he almost stole the movie.
Man, it's hard to upstage Anthony Hopkins.
Agreed.
But man, he was really effective in this movie. Just every scene with him made you feel uneasy.
Yeah,
you
even
know?
when they only showed him for a quick second.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and like, I mean, he had 3 lines when the girl was down in the well.
Right.
I was scared shitless.
Man, it was so uneasy feeling. Just that scene where, and it's just this guy telling her to put lotion on.
Holding a fluffy little white dog.
Mm-hmm. But it's not just the actors, but I think that does have a lot to say about Jonathan Demme too, being able to get that kind of performance out of his people. I mean, there's obviously going to be natural talent there, but
Really good job.
Yeah.
Chilton was great at being Chilton.
Yeah.
Crawford was great at being
Douchebag,
Crawford.
You know what? You're supposed to hate Chilton, and I did.
Yeah.
So yeah, very effective.
Yeah, the bug dudes were supposed to be weird. They were.
Yeah, they were. Yeah.
I mean, really good movie.
Mm-hmm.
You think it deserved to be number 1?
Yeah, I would say so. There's a ton of movies that come out nowadays that they're number 1 at the box office and aren't as good as this by any stretch, you know.
Well, you can throw a bunch of superheroes in a movie, it'll be number 1.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I'm not even gonna go into that because you know me, like I'm a comic book dude, but I am just about to my breaking point as far as superheroes go. You know.
I want to say congratulations. You made it through episode 2. Not one Star Trek reference.
It was a struggle. Actually, no, I don't think I was even gonna mention Star Trek
You
at all.
did a good job.
Yeah. You're the one bringing it up now. Do you think that it deserved to be number 1 for 5 weeks?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't look that much into what else is going on.
Me
but
neither.
Yeah, for a movie this quality, yeah, 5 weeks is pretty decent.
I don't know where I put it on my list of all-time greats. One of these days we're gonna have to sit down and make a list of our greats.
We'll have to do like a special
List
airing
show
or something. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know where it ranks on mine, but it's in there. It's in the list.
It's not my top 10.
But it's in my list.
Yeah.
You know, it's a really, really good movie.
I'd say top 50.
The pacing was fantastic.
Yeah.
It kept me wanting more.
Yeah.
It showed me just enough of everything.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it.
I think that in a lot of ways that actually speaks to the editing of this movie too, because that's where you're going to run into a problem as well. Is like, especially if we're talking like big books, you're going to have like you were saying last week, you were like, isn't that one like a marathon movie too? And they just cram so much in this movie. I don't want to say it seems like it's longer than it is, because it really isn't a tough watch to get through at all.
No, flew right by.
Yeah, but it seems like you're inundated with information, but it's not confusing at the same time. And whenever you talk about like movies, and obviously you can't have everything included from the book in a movie, you really have to be kind of discerning to know what you can cut out and what you can keep in. And I think that the editing, they really just nailed it with this, you know.
Great job.
So, yeah, I agree. What else you got?
So,
Go watch Silence of the Lambs if you haven't seen it. Everybody's seen it, so it doesn't matter.
So this is episode number 2 in the can.
Yes.
It was a lot of fun. We got to do this one in person.
Yeah. Hopefully we get to do this more often, because I prefer this format.
You want to know what we're watching?
I am dying to know what we're watching.
Next week, we'll be listening to.
Listening to? I thought we were going to watch a movie.
Oh, yeah, we're going to watch it. But I'm gonna show you what we're watching.
Oh, no. Oh, we're doing Top Gun?
We're doing Top Gun.
Hell yeah, I can do Top Gun. That's good stuff.
I'm not gonna say too much about it, man. But boy, when I was a kid, when that movie came out, I was crazy about it.
Man, I've watched it since, and I was like, the story's not that good. But man, there's some great aerial footage in that movie.
We're not talking about it.
No,
we'll talk about it next week.
Oh, I will say, real quick, Meg Ryan was a goddess in that movie, bro. She has a real brief part, and man, she's incredible.
We'll talk about Meg Ryan and Top Gun next week. It was fun.
Yeah, great. I think that we're starting to get the hang of this. So
it's fun.
Yeah, we're having a good time.
Next time.
All right. Well, again, thanks everybody for listening. I guess maybe watching if you're checking us out on YouTube. Go to our social media if you haven't already. Feel free to like us. Just do a quick search for Casino Royale with Cheese. Anything you want to email to us, I really don't care. I probably won't read it anyway, but you're welcome to. It's cheesymovie@yahoo.com. Are we going to do a Twitter, or I'm not really much of a tweeter?
I'm not very good at it. We'll probably get there.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if people want it. But yeah, feel free to check us out on social media. And we haven't got the iTunes uploaded yet.
We're going to work on that today.
Yeah, we're getting it going, though. Don't feel bad. We'll get it going.
All right. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
I'll be back.